Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I've got you a top 10 list for the top 10 rarest Pokemon to find or obtain or any way, shape or form see in Pokemon Go. So the reason I thought I'd make this video today is because I've seen a lot of other top 10s and countdown lists for the rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Go, but I don't entirely agree with them. So you can compare this list to other top 10s or the top 5s or whatever countdown list there may be of the rarest Pokemon in Pokemon Go. And with that being said, let's get into the number 10 spot. So coming in at the number 10 spot, starting the list out, we have Snorlax. Now Snorlax is a very rare Pokemon indeed. In the normal original games you could only find 2 in the game, blocking a path in specific locations, and that's obviously only 2 locations. But Snorlax is a rare Pokemon to find overall, but even rarer to get out of an egg because you can only get him out of the 10k eggs, and that's obviously 10 kilometers you need to travel in order to hatch the freaking egg and maybe get a chance of obtaining him out of that egg once you've hatched it. And if you manage to find this guy in the wild, let me know, hit me up somewhere, because I haven't got one of these yet, but I really want one because they're good for gym battles, obviously having a lot of attack and everything like that, having a lot of health, and overall being a really good powerful Pokemon. If you played the original games, like I said before, where you can only find them in 2 locations, that's probably the reason why they're so good, because there's only 2 of them in the freaking game altogether. So in the number 10 spot we have Snorlax. Now in the number 9 spot we have the Pokemon Lapras. Now Lapras is a really underrated Pokemon in my opinion. A lot of people didn't actually, level this up through the original games, and for that reason I'm guessing they didn't find it, because it's only in 1 location in the original games, blue, red and yellow, in the Sylph Company headquarters, after you fight Gary and talk to the guy next to him, and you get one at level 15. So there's only 1 way of obtaining him in the original games, and for this reason you'd think he's just rare overall. And with that being said, that's right, because in the actual Pokemon Go game that we've obviously been talking about in this video, the top 10 rarest Pokemon, this number 9 spot guy is only obtainable by a 10k egg like Snorlax. But also at the same time, if you think about the amount of land you're going to be going around to find a Snorlax in the wild, and then when you compare that to the amount of water edges areas or water overall that you're actually going to be going near to actually catch Pokemon solely, and then a Lapras comes up, well, that's specified only in that location of water, and a lot of the time when I'm near the sea I don't have a freaking signal. So overall, walking around on land, it's going to be easier to catch a Snorlax than a Lapras in my opinion, because I've seen people catch Snorlaxes, but yet again I haven't seen people catch a Lapras. I've only seen him out of the 10k egg, like I mentioned the other way of getting Lapras before. So that's in the number 9 spot, Lapras. So coming in at the number 8 spot we have the Pokemon Gyarados. Now Gyarados is the more useful version of the useless version, obviously being the evolved form of the Pokemon Magikarp. Now Magikarp, it requires 400 Magikarp candy overall, and if you guys know the system of Pokemon Go, that's what you need to evolve Pokemon, and you get about 3 a time each time you catch an individual Magikarp. So do the math, you're going to have to catch over, I believe, at least 100 Magikarps, and then you're going to have to like transfer them, and then you get 1 Magikarp candy from doing that. But overall it's a grind to get a Gyarados and evolve it, and overall actually finding one in the wild is even rarer. I've heard rumours that there actually is Gyarados on the MI6 building, but you don't want to be going in there because you'll get into some serious shit if you go in there and go, look, I need to come in here because I need to find a Pokemon that's digitally reimagined in this area but on my phone that only I can see. So don't go into any unexplorable areas, we'll put that as. So yeah, don't go into MI6, don't go to Area 51, don't go in shops that are closed because you'll have to break into them. I definitely don't recommend any of that, but if this guy shows up on your nearby, you're very lucky, because I live nearby the sea. I put loads down on Pokestops where literally is surrounded by the sea, but the only thing that I'm seeing is Magikarp and no Gyarados. So incense, lows, whatever I put down at the sea or near the sea, there's no Gyarados showing up. I don't know if that's just me or my luck, or it's just because of the fact Gyarados is very rare, but I'm putting it down to the fact that Gyarados is very rare because I'm already level 20 on this game and I've grinded it out enough to know what's rare and what's not. So that's in the number 8 spot, Gyarados. In the number 7 spot we have the Pokemon Alakazam. Now Alakazam being the fully evolved version of Abra, going Abracadabra, and you guessed it, freaking Alakazam. And despite the fact that I don't think or expect to find this guy in a fully evolved version of an Abra Alakazam in any place anyways ever, I'm going to say that Abra to evolve into a Kadabra and then an Alakazam, you would think that would be a kind of normal grind. Well, wrong. If you find an Abra and it's a high CP, hope to your lucky stars that first Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball will actually catch it in the first place, because this guy fleds like a mudder trucker, especially in the original game, so he follows the same traits. I know Pokemon flee now and again, but Abra is renowned for that, and being a rarish Pokemon in itself, the first evolution of Alakazam is an annoying factor. I've never seen a Kadabra in the wild, an Alakazam, but I've seen one Alakazam on a gym, and that's why it's in the number 7 spot, Alakazam. Creeping up to the midpoint position for this top 10, we have the number 6 spot, which is Aerodactyl. Now Aerodactyl, I've literally never seen on any gym ever, and the only way I've actually seen people obtain this is not finding it in the wild, because obviously it's a rare Pokemon in itself to find, and it doesn't evolve from anything, it doesn't evolve into anything, it's just its own Pokemon. In the original games as well, you would have to hatch this from like amber fossils or something like that, or fossiling itself on Cinnabar Island or something like that. I can't really remember, it was a long time ago guys, bear with me here, but overall you have to hatch it from a 10k egg or find it in the wild, and that in itself is a very rare factor. I know I've had a lot of other Pokemon already in this list like Snorlax or Lapras that actually hatch from 10k eggs and you can only find in the wild themselves and don't have any evolutions in the game right now that either evolve into them or they evolve into, because I know Munchlax evolves into Snorlax in the later generations, but none of them are in the game right now. But Aerodactyl I've never seen on a gym in my town or anywhere around this area, and I've seen a lot of Snorlax, Lapras, so I figured that this would be suitable for the number 6 spot, Aerodactyl. Breaking the countdown for today down to a top 5 format, we have in the number 5 spot, the halfway midpoint position of the top 10, Dragonite. Now Dragonite is a very powerful Pokemon that everybody really wants in every Pokemon game that you can obtain ever, and the main reason for that, besides the fact that it looks really cool, is because of the fact Dragonite is a very powerful Pokemon, and obviously because of this it's evolved 3 times from the original evolution, Dratini, and that is only obtainable either out of a 10k egg, which you get like Aerodactyls, Laprases and Snorlaxes out of, these massive Pokemon, and Dratini's only like a little slug kind of dragon thing, or you find Dratini in the wild, or a Dragonair and then you level it up, or you find a Dragonite straight off the bat in the wild, which is very rare. I've never actually seen anyone in my area of where I live obtain a Dragonite just straight off the bat, maybe a Dragonair, maybe a Dratini, but Dragonite is just off the scale in terms of his rareness around this area, and overall to be honest, because it's a very powerful Pokemon, it can go to a very high CP, and because of this, I mean Dratini is going to be hard to get, and then the Dratini candy to get Dragonite and evolve it by getting the candy and not finding him in the wild will be even harder, so that's why it's in the number 5 spot, Dragonite. Taking the number 4 spot, we have the Pokemon known as Porygon. Now Porygon is a robotic kind of 3D prism looking Pokemon that's very rare to obtain in the wild. The only way you can actually obtain it out of an egg is in the largest category for Pokemon in the 5k egg section, so imagine actually getting this out of an egg, you'd be very happy, but if you find them in the wild, even rarer. And overall I think they've made the rarity of Porygon kind of this high in this game, because in the original games you could actually only get him by actually buying him from a gambling thing within the game where you could spin Pokecoins and all this stuff, and it was like 9,999 Pokecoins to actually buy a Porygon from the casino of where you played these games and actually spent the money you earned within the game from battling trainers and stuff to actually get these Pokecoins and gamble with them in the first place. So Porygon, it's a very good Pokemon overall, very good looking in my opinion, very unique, but I don't think it's one of the best in terms of its like damage or attack or even CP, because it can't evolve or anything like Dragonite can, whereas Dratini can evolve 3 times, but Porygon can only, well, it's just Porygon, it just stays the way it is. But in the newer versions of the newer games it can actually evolve, but who knows until now, right? I mean Porygon, it's a very rare Pokemon overall, and if you find this guy, make sure to get him for the Pokedex, because overall I don't think he's going to be doing anything in gym battles. That's why he's in the number 4 spot, Porygon. Breaking this list down to a top 3 format of this top 10, in the last 3 sections we have a section type of Pokemon, obviously not being just one on its own, so to start that off, we have ones that can only be found in certain sections of the world, which are Mr. Mime, Farfetch'd, Tauros and Kangaskhan. And to tell you guys about the rarity of all of these Pokemon in this section overall, well, let me break this down for you. Mr. Mime can only be found in Europe, so that's anywhere in Europe. Tauros can only be found anywhere in America, and also Kangaskhan can only be found anywhere in Australasia, and then Farfetch'd is anywhere in Asia. So imagine getting all of these. I mean, you can get them out of the 5k egg category, but again, there is the most Pokemon in the 5k egg category overall, so there's a chance of getting many other Pokemon at the same time, but you can actually get these in your own country out of the 5k eggs, so make sure you actually, you know, keep hatching them 5k eggs if you don't want to get cheap flights all the way around the world to complete your Pokedex, which is kind of annoying at the same time. But at the same time I feel like they should have put cooler Pokemon here, because I like the fact of obviously going to travel and having all these kind of cool features and making it a challenge to actually complete a Pokedex on a virtual yet real life, what seems game that involves real life, I guess. So anyways, that's why they're in the number 3 spot and take the spot so solidly. Mr. Mime, Tauros, Kangaskhan and Farfetch'd. Creeping its way up to the number 1 rarest section in this list, we have in the number 2 spot or 2 section the fully evolved starter Pokemon from Charmander, Squirtle and Bulbasaur. That's right, we have Venusaur, Charizard and Blastoise. Now these Pokemon, I don't think you guys actually understand how rare they are in themselves, so you get these out of the 2k eggs, and bearing in mind every time I hatch a 2k egg I always get like a Weedle, a Pidgey or something just borderline shit. Not any of these starter Pokemon to add to the candy I need in order to evolve them, but I never find them in the wild to get the candy to evolve them. But at the same time, I've never ever seen anybody in my town or anybody on Pokemon Go overall that actually has one of these and has caught one of these just bare out off the bat, found it in the wild and thought, hey, me, there's a Blastoise, there's a Venusaur, there's a Charizard right there, because they're very rare, and obviously because of this, they're going to be very powerful. They're one of the Pokemon that you can evolve 3 times like Dragonite, so imagine finding a very high CP Squirtle, Bulbasaur, or Charmander. I believe I found like a 408 Squirtle in my house, in my living room. I threw a Raspberry at it, and then I got a nice throw from an Ultra Ball, and it still didn't catch, and they always fled straight away. So to add to the rarity of it, they're like Abra, they always run off after the first throw if they escape, and that's why these guys, fully evolved, are in the number 2 spot: Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise. So finally, taking the number 1 spot for the rarest section of Pokemon, or Pokemon overall, in Pokemon Go, we have Ditto and the legendary Pokemon, which include Mew, Mewtwo, Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno, which are the 3 legendary birds and the 2 different types of Mew. So Mewtwo, Mew, Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno, like I said before, and all of these Pokemon have yet to be added to the game. The reason they're in the number 1 spot is because they cannot be obtained yet, and I don't know why Ditto's kind of bundled in with all these guys, because it's not a legendary, he's just chilling here like, yeah, same man, because that's what he does overall, he just copies everything, and that's what Ditto means. It means same. Wow, it was a really bad pun, but overall, despite the fact that these guys have yet to be included into the game and actually obtainable because they are already in the code, every legendary Pokemon is only going to be available at certain events in the world for a limited amount of time, so like 30 minutes in an area where all these Pokemon Go events are going on, and they activate these Pokemon to be set out in the wild to spawn, and they're going to obviously be very hard to catch. I don't know if they're going to have the fled rate of the starters or Abra, but if they do, they'll be even rarer, and that will add to the rarity, as we saw in the Pokemon Go trailer where Mewtwo was at Times Square in New York, and I'm guessing if you guys haven't seen that, I'll link that in the video description down below so you guys can see that. And the more knowledge we can get on the legendaries right now, or the legendary events that are going to be coming, the better, because then we'll have a better chance of obviously finding them, catching them, and overall seeing what these events actually do, or if they're only in certain areas of the world, whether it's an event that's activated all over the world for a certain amount of time in certain areas of each country, or it's just a certain area in one country of the world. So thank you all for watching this top 10. If you guys would like to see more Pokemon Go videos or more top 10 videos, be sure to let me know by hitting up a like rating down below, or a comment in the comment section, leaving some positive feedback, or maybe even just some constructive criticism down below. Any feedback is appreciated either way, guys, and I want to thank all you guys for watching. If you got to the end of the video, I love you, you're amazing, you get a kiss on the forehead, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.